26th March 2022 Current Affairs. How much amount has been set as the target by the government for the NABFID to sanction loans for the infrastructure sector in 2022 to 1923? A. 3 trillion rupees. B. 1 trillion rupees. C. 5 trillion rupees. D. 2 trillion rupees. Answer, option B. Explanation. Central government has set a target of about 1 trillion rupees for the National Bank for Financial Infrastructure and Development, NABFID. Who has become the youngest and fastest female swimmer to swim across the Polk Strait? A. Zia Rai. B. Mana Patel. C. Bhakti Sharma. D. Aarti Saha. Answer, option A. Explanation. Zia Rai, an Indian para-swimmer, started swimming from Polk Strait, Talaimannar in Sri Lanka, and in 13 hours she reached Arichalmunai in Dhanushkodi, Tamil Nadu. Narsingpettai Nagaswaram, of which state has been given geographical identity tag under the category of Class 15 musical instruments? 1-5. A. Kerala. B. Maharashtra. C. Tamil Nadu. D. Gujarat. Answer, option C. Explanation. Narsingpettai Nagaswarma of Tamil Nadu has been given geographical identity tag under the category of Class 15 musical instruments. Biplobi Bharat Gallery has been inaugurated in which city? A. Pune. B. Guwahati. C. New Delhi. D. Kolkata. Answer, option D. Who has been appointed as the MD and CEO of Maruti Suzuki? A. Hisashi Takeuchi. B. Kenichi Ayukawa. C. Osamu Suzuki. D. Shigetoshi Tori. Answer, option A. Explanation. Hisashi Takeuchi, from Japan, has been appointed as the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Maruti Suzuki for 3 years with effect from 1st April. Who has become the first para-athlete to receive Padma Bhushan? A. Sumit Antil. B. Devendra Jhajria. C. Sundar Singh Gurjar. D. Mariyappan Thangavelu. Answer, option B. Explanation. Devendra Jhajria became the first para-athlete to receive the Padma Bhushan award. Pushkar Singh Dhami has taken oath as the 11th Chief Minister of which state? A. Kerala. B. Himachal Pradesh. C. Madhya Pradesh. D. Uttarakhand. Answer, option D. Explanation. Pushkar Singh Dhami has taken oath as the 11th Chief Minister of Uttarakhand state. Which country will host the Barshama Shield 2022 training exercise? A. Malaysia. B. Australia. C. Singapore. D. Japan. Answer, option A. Explanation. Malaysia will host armed forces from 4 nations in the annual Barshama Shield 2022 training exercise. Who has been given the Able Prize 2022? 2022. A. Laszlo Lovas. B. Gregory Margulis. C. Dennis Parnell Sullivan. D. Avi Vigderson. Answer, option C. Explanation. The Able Prize for the year 2022 has been awarded to American mathematician Dennis Parnell Sullivan. The book titled Unfilled Barrels, India's All Story, authored by whom, will be released soon? A. Chetan Bhagat. B. Amrita Pritam. C. Jhumpa Lahiri. D. Richa Mishra. Answer, option D. Explanation. A book titled Unfilled Barrels, India's All Story by Richa Mishra will be released soon. Pralay Mondal has been appointed as the interim MD and CEO of which of the bank? A. DCB Bank. B. CSB Bank. C. Federal Bank. D. Indian Bank. Answer, option B. Explanation. The Reserve Bank of India has approved the appointment of Pralay Mondal as the interim managing director and CEO of CSB Bank. What is the total value of the WCB, also known as Rhino bond? A. $150 million. B. $250 million. C. $125 million. D. $100 million. Answer, option A. Explanation. It is a 5-year $150 million sustainable development bond. Which world number 1 female tennis player has announced her retirement? A. Steffi Graf. B. Serena Williams. C. Ashley Barty. D. Maria Sharapova. Answer, option C. Explanation. Australian female tennis player Ashley Barty has announced her retirement from tennis at the age of 25. Which date is being celebrated as the International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade? A. 25th March. B. 21st March. C. 24th March. D. 23rd March. Answer, option A. Explanation. International Day is being celebrated of the victims of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade is marked on 25th March every year to raise awareness about the dangers of racism and prejudice. On which day the International Day of the Unborn Child is being celebrated? A. 23rd March. B. 24th March. C. 22nd March. D. 25th March. Answer, option D. Explanation. The International Day of the Unborn Child is being celebrated on 25th March. Which state has become the first state to introduce carbon-neutral farming methods? A. Telangana. B. Kerala. C. Tamil Nadu. D. Karnataka. Answer, option B. Explanation. Kerala is set to become the first state in the country to introduce carbon-neutral farming methods in selected locations. Which one is the theme of the 2022 International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade? A. Confronting slavery's legacy of racism together. B. Ending slavery's legacy of racism, a global imperative for justice. C. Remember slavery, the power of the arts for justice. D. Stories of courage, resistance to slavery and unity against racism. Answer, option D. Explanation. The theme of the 2022 International Day of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade is Stories of Courage, Resistance to Slavery and Unity against Racism. Which city has been the hottest place on earth with a record 53.2 degrees Celsius? 53.2. A. Chennai. B. Dubai. C. Kuwait. D. Delhi. Answer, option C. Explanation. Kuwait City has been the hottest place on earth with a record 53.2 degrees Celsius, according to the World Resources Institute. United Nations has designated which date as the International Day of Solidarity with Detained and Missing Staff Members? A. 24th March. B. 23rd March. C. 25th March. D. 21st March. Answer, option C. Explanation. The United Nations is being celebrated the International Day of Solidarity with Detained and Missing Staff Members on 25th March every year. Who has been awarded the 2022 Governor of the Year Award at the Central Banking Awards? A. Sushant Khatri. B. Jeff Marcel. C. Mario Marcel. D. Joy Shah. Answer, option C. Explanation. Mario Marcel, the Governor of the Central Bank of Chile, has won the Governor of the Year Award at the Central Banking Awards 2022. Please subscribe the Marn channel.